Hi, hello, hello. Thank you so much for
Hello.
having me on. Hi, Kenny. It's so great to see you. Thank you so much for doing this. So my question is with regards to your approach to wrestling in general. There seems to be a bit of an ongoing dichotomy between the world of sport and the world of art. It's like you can be an athlete but not an artist, or you can like sports but not art, or vice versa. As someone who is both an incredible athlete and an artist, um, I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on these supposed differences and how you reconcile that in your work, and whether or not you view yourself as one more than the other, or anything along those lines would be great.
In your work. Ooh, okay. That's a very good question. Okay, I'll do the best I can to answer, but I put a lot of thought into that. I put a lot of thought into that, actually. And I look at things in a very strange way, and I think I'm. I think I'll be very forthright about it, and I'll tell you my honest opinion. Um, and to a lot of people, wrestling is wrestling, and wrestling is just barbaric, and it should be fighting, and it should just be something very physical and something very primal. Um, but I think, much like how boxing has evolved, much like mixed martial arts has evolved, it's not just two brutes running at each other, swinging their fists. It's much more than that. And especially when you take a look at the performance aspect of what we do, um, you have the ability to create whatever you like because it isn't just a competition. Um, and you're not just trying to win a medal or a trophy or a prize. You're trying to tell a story, and sometimes the story is about you winning, sometimes the story is about you losing, and sometimes it's something even deeper than that. So when I really sat back and tried to look at what it is that we're trying to accomplish as wrestlers, I thought that maybe, even though studying stuff that we had done in the past in professional wrestling was important and it was important to use as a tool, I thought that I need to study other performances and I need to study other compositions. So I would look at, and I remembered when I was habitually doing matches that were about 20 to 30 minutes in New Japan, I would think of shows, dramas on TV that I would watch that would run anywhere between, 21 and 44 minutes per episode. Those were generally sort of the match runtime that I would have. And I would think of what episodes had a great beginning, had a great middle, had a great end, um, and how did those episodes vary from one another? And of course, you're going to have episodes that are going to generally stand out as better episodes than others because maybe it introduces, a different villain or some other kind of conflict that the hero has to overcome or that the main characters have to overcome. And that makes it so that you can't copy and paste everything that you do on a template. Every story has to be different and has to cater to the certain characters that are involved. Um, I try to liken that to stuff that had sort of been universally praised over the years. And this might sound odd, but I think that when I was a child, wrestlers to me were heroes. They're superheroes. And that's why when I was a kid, I either wanted to be a wrestler or I wanted to be a Ninja Turtle because there's something that was larger than life. So I thought, what was universally praised when I was a child, but you could watch as a teen, you could watch as an adult. I could go back and watch it right now and it'd still be great. For me, that was Batman the Animated Series. And I thought, okay, everyone will always remember the Joker because he's the Joker. Everyone loves the Joker, even though he's the greatest villain that Batman has. But if Batman fought the Joker every week, it would get tired, it would get old, it'd get predictable. So that's why sometimes Batman has to fight the Penguin, he has to fight the Riddler, he has to fight Clayface. And for me, some of those stories were even more interesting um, than clashes he had with the Joker, even though those were the most iconic. So whether you sub in, whether you have your clashes with the Joker, which will generally remain pretty pretty serious from start to finish, or you have a Riddler episode which has a little bit of comedic relief in it, Or you have something that pulls in your heartstrings, like a Two-Face story, where there's a human side to this man that you feel for, but there's also this monster that you can't tame. Um, I was able to find a lot of commonality, and I was able to find a way to look at that and structure my stories, especially in New Japan, in my time in Japan, when I was sort of understanding how long I had to be in the ring, how long these matches had to be, and the stories that I knew I wanted to tell within a certain period of time. And then when I moved on to AEW, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to accomplish, and I wasn't sure who I'd be mixing up with, or what stories would emerge, and what stories would evolve, how I would evolve. I would look at my big match performances, matches that I knew I wanted to be special, and I would study, um, like I would I would just play long playlists of classical music, and I would study the composition of, when how a song would start, when the tempo would get when the tempo would become quicker, when there would be a crescendo to everything, and how it would make you feel when you listen to the music, and why so many people around the world believe that classical music is one of the most sort of artistic styles of music to listen to, and how anyone can probably find an appreciation to to classical music, because you use it in accompaniment to all types of movies. Still, you can listen to it in an elevator. In an elevator, you can listen to it while you're shopping. You can listen to it while you're fighting. You can listen to it while you're playing video games. While you're in the shower. There's no. It applies to so many situations, and those types of music it'll never get old. And it's because when music is beautiful and when art is in its purest form, it's very flexible. It's like a rubber band. You can bend it any which way that you'd like it to go, and you'll be able to fit it into whatever mold that it needs to be fit in. So I would like, in that same sense, for wrestling um, to be viewed in the same light, and whether it's always going to be a trial by fire, and it's always going to be um, it's you can just take a stab in the dark and just shoot for the stars. You're not always gonna hit a home run. Sometimes you might fail, but I want to at least try to reach more people than what wrestling is currently reaching with what I do. And if what I can do can reach the everyday person who doesn't necessarily enjoy wrestling or watch wrestling, but they can identify with that as real entertainment, or something that they don't mind watching, or something that they laughed at or cried at or got angry at, um, then I feel like, to some degree, that I'm doing my job. By no means do I think I'm Beethoven or Michelangelo, but at the very least, I want to take inspiration in those types of artists and use that to inspire my work.
Well, thank you so much. I am a brand new fan. I've only been watching for about 2 years, and your match was the first thing that I watched. So whatever you are doing, it's absolutely working. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you so much. And sorry for the long answer.
I loved it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes. Wow. Yay. Thank you.